Greetings. Peace be with you. So, I want to start this video off with a question. What do you think is the most important language to learn in the 21st century? Right? What do you think it is? Because if we look at this question through the lens of Yuval Noah Harari, author of the book Sapiens, Homo Deus, 21 Lessons of the 21st Century, right? Someone who has considered really an oracle of our time. At least if you read his books, you realize that, wow, this dude is really dug deep into the human experience. Like, what is his answer to this question? So he says that the most important language that we must learn in the 21st century is the language of algorithms. Okay? And what is an algorithm? An algorithm is simply a methodical set of steps that can be used to make calculations, reach decisions, and resolve problems. Okay? And in the context of this video, I think I called it, if you are addicted to your smartphone, watch this. I'm going to be sharing with you why it is essential for us to create algorithms around our use of technology. Okay. I'm going to be sharing with you some of my top 3 to 4 algorithms and encouraging you to really come up with your own so that you can use technology for all of its immense power that it has to create transformation in your life rather than be used by it to the point where it's hacking your most important resource, which is your attention. Okay? So Yuval Noah Harari says that algorithms are the most important thing, and also Ray Dalio, who is the billionaire investor and founder of Bridgewater Associates, author of the book called Principles, says that algorithms are the language that we should be teaching our children, right? So important because, look, we have AI, right? Artificial intelligence, where these algorithms are being created, specifically engineered by the world's top engineers, right? It's like we have one screen and then we have one of us, and then behind each of those screens, there's thousands of the world's top engineers that are working diligently to create algorithms that hack our attention. Okay, we are living in the mind hacking economy, which means that our attention is being sold, right? If you are not paying for a product, if you're not paying for Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all of these things, then you are the product being sold, right? Hopefully you're watching this video right now. You probably saw an ad before this video. Hopefully you're still getting value from this and it's worth your time, because by investing the time and watching this, you will be able to create your own algorithms so that you can optimize your attention. Okay, so AI, right? Artificial intelligence. Now, of course, I don't know how they create these algorithms, but there's 2 pillars that really encapsulate the big picture on how and why they're so addictive, right? The first one is that of intermittent rewards, right? Intermittent reinforcement. What does this mean? So it's like basically a science experiment with rats, right? So you bring them into a cage and they pull a certain lever, and every time that they pull the lever, they get a piece of food, right? That's predictable. They're like, okay, I'm full now. I'm not going to pull the lever anymore. On the flip side, if you bring in a rat and you put that same lever there, but sometimes it gets the food and other times it doesn't, then it will continue to push that lever to the point where it becomes unhealthy for him to eat so much, right? He gets diabetes. And then we think we're all, higher evolved beings and we're humans and we don't fall to those same tendencies as rats. But the reality is that when we get that dopamine spike of that notification, of that new video upload, of that next thing, of refreshing the news feed, of seeing that next thing, and we seek out that dopamine reward, sometimes we get it, sometimes we don't. Because it's like that random reward, it's like a slot machine, and that is what makes this technology so addictive, right? That is why we continue to go onto our apps. That is why, in my observation, like sometimes if I'm looking into someone social media use, it's like they don't have any notifications, but they're like scrolling the app, like click another app, and then they have no notification, then they're clicking another app. And I've noticed tendencies in myself to do that as well, because this is a psychological hook. This is a cognitive bias that we have, which is why gambling is so addictive, which is why slot machines are so addictive, because this reinforcement of random rewards makes it that way. Okay, that's the first one. Now the second one is social approval indicators, right? That's just another way of saying so seeking out social validation, right? Anytime that you get a notification on any of these quote unquote social media apps, and I put that in quotes over there because social media is not social to the point where it actually is correlated with depression and anxiety the more that someone uses it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that it's a bad, good, right, wrong thing. It's important to have an awareness of how they are affecting us and how these algorithms are being created, because through the social rewards, right? Oh, someone liked my thing, or someone commented about my thing, or someone wrote something on my post or my wall, or commented on my video, whatever it is, right? It's like, oh, someone else is thinking about me. And we, as much as we think that we are individual beings that have our power of will, we are social beings, right? We are who we are because of our ability to form social connections, and because of this cognitive bias. Again, every time that we are getting those notifications that are associated with someone else thinking about us, we are more likely to check into that again and again and again. And these are the two primary reasons why these apps and the smartphone are so addictive, right? So these are the artificial intelligence algorithms that are leveraging our psychological biases to make us hooked on to these. Right now, again, I want to emphasize this is not about me saying that social media is bad. Like, if it wasn't for social media, I wouldn't be making this video, I wouldn't be reaching out, I wouldn't have the clients that I have, I wouldn't be able to do what it is that I do. But it's very important to get clarity on your values, right? Know what is important to me first and foremost, and then assess how I can use these technologies to embody these values rather than have them distract me from living in alignment with those values, right? So we have AI, which is artificial intelligence, and what we must do is form those algorithms into AI, which is ancient intelligence, which is our basal ganglia, which is the seat of our habits, right? And that really comes down to forming the algorithms that allow us to effectively use these technologies rather than be used by them. Okay, so some algorithms that I use, for example, first one is like, if I am not using my smartphone, then it is on flight mode. Okay, flight mode. My phone is on flight mode more than it is not on flight mode. Okay, and this is because anytime that I get a notification on my phone, it is an agenda of someone else. It is someone else asking something of me. And because I'm such a kind and loving person, I usually respond. I usually, get back to them. I usually cater to their needs. But if my phone is on flight mode and I don't have that notification, then I can focus on what it is that I'm here to do, what it is that I'm here to, focus on and drive the results forward and create the life that is in alignment with my values, rather than getting distracted by an exterior agenda. I'm not saying I don't ever check my smartphone. Of course, I'm using apps, I'm chatting with people, I'm messaging people, I'm reaching out to people, I'm sending kind messages to people, I'm checking my notifications, I'm doing all of that. But I do that on my own time, at my own pace, without getting caught up in this hectic stuff, right? Like, I've definitely noticed tendencies sometimes, like, I'm with my family, I'm eating food, and then one of someone's phone is ringing, and it's like, a bit farther, like, immediately get stressed out, reach out, like, drop what they're doing, drop what they're eating, and go reach for that phone. And that is what I don't want for you, okay? And that is because we set the algorithms in place that allow us to follow through with our behaviors that align with our values, rather than getting caught up in the AI, artificial intelligence. Okay, getting that into the ancient intelligence, into the basal ganglia, so that we can effectively use these technologies, right? So that's my first algorithm. If I'm not using my phone, then it is on flight mode, right? When I wake up, it's on flight mode. Before going to sleep, it's on flight mode. Now, another one, if I am in discussion with someone, if I'm connecting with someone, then my phone is not in sight. Okay, there's something known as the iPhone effect, in which they brought in a bunch of subjects and they had them communicate with each other, and then they basically assessed the levels of connection that they experienced. And what they found is a direct correlation between reported levels of decreased connection with just an iPhone being present. And even if that phone was not their own, if it was just a random phone lying there in the vicinity of your peripheral vision, then it takes away from that communication. It takes away from that connection. It takes away from forming that deep relationship with someone because the iPhone is there, even if it's not your own, distracting you from that, right? So if I'm connecting with someone, then my phone is not in sight, right? Also, if I'm working, then my phone is not on side. What I usually do is either put it in some other room or put it behind my computer or behind my laptop so that I can't see it, right? So that it is not there to distract me. Because even if something is like we're not focused on it completely, but it's still there within our peripheral vision, then our mind will still pick up on that, at least our subconscious mind, right? And another algorithm, if it is past sunset, then my phone is on flight mode, right? That's when I put it on flight mode. It's not all the time that I do this, okay, to be honest with you. Like sometimes if there's a plan that I'm making with someone past sunset, then, I have to use this tool, right? But that's another one, right? And if another one, right, like if I'm my phone is not on flight mode, then all my notifications are off, right? So I have all my notifications off other than for WhatsApp, other than for like text messages, right? All social media notifications are off, and again, I use that when I use it, right? Now another algorithm, if I am using social media, then I do not use it for longer than 30 minutes, right? Now, this is a new one that I am attempting to install into my basal ganglia to set a timer. Okay, I'm going to use social media. I don't want to get lost in the vortex because I've gone through this so many times. Like, oh, I'm just going to use this for 2 minutes, and then 30 minutes later, whoa, man, just what happened over there, right? So setting that algorithm beforehand, okay, I'm going to set a timer for 30 minutes. I'm going to consciously use the social media. I'm going to go reach out to people that I can help. I can go, like, I don't want to be a consumer on this stuff, just scrolling. I'm here to get out my message, to produce, to help people, to reach out to people that I can help, to do all things that would allow me to be productive rather than reactive and consuming. Okay. So, just an example of some algorithms that I use and I'm currently installing in my own life. So, leave a comment below letting me know the number one algorithm that you will install around your smartphone usage after watching this video so that it's not just another mental masturbation session, because I don't want you to just consume this information without doing anything with it. Otherwise, then there's no use. This is just another distraction. This is just another, it's going to be like a hall of mirrors. Like, oh, I'm just being distracted and I'm watching videos about how to not be distracted. Like, don't want that, right? So leave a comment letting me know the number one algorithm that you will install around your technology use so that you can be more effective around that. Okay, so I hope that this has been valuable for you. Click the like button if you like it, subscribe if you have not already, because I release new content just like this every single day. Okay, so with all that being said, I will leave you in the peace and power of the one infinite creator, and I'll catch you in the next one. Much love to you. Take care.